no veas, a Sevilla. Y al último que cuando ya salió la bien de regla.
It is Thursday on Raid Shadow Legends, but you knew that. Now, things have become very spooky and scary in the world of Raid Shadow Legends because it is Halloween, or at least it's going to be Halloween in a week, and they have updated the Bastion to reflect this. You've got Harvest Jack just swimming away in the Guardian Ring pool, Madame Ceres reading books about how things used to be back when everyone called the nerfs for her because of the haha Arbiter, Ceres, Trunder, blow everything up meta. And it seems that, oh, yep, they forgot to make sure he was dead before they buried him. So he's just there in his coffin and, yeah. So, without wasting too much more of your time hopping on about nothing, they have announced the Halloween Fusion. And if you're expecting something scary, you got something scary. And believe me, this champion is horrifyingly good. It's almost terrifying how good they are if you are farming Gold 5 Classic Arena. Because, spoiler, past that they are really not the best. So, what we're going to do is... So, this is the fusion. Gretel Hagbane, based off the old childhood fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel, which isn't quite so child happy now, and things have taken a dark turn for the worst. She is a legendary force... You can read this, can't you? And if you're expecting Hansel, well, he's here. He's the partner to her here. You can probably tell again just from this part here because you read ahead of me. We're going to cover him another time because otherwise we're going on for far too long. And in terms of Gretel being the fusion, and it's one of the fusions, you got to level the rares, fuse the epics, level the epics, none of that fragment collection thing, which, is much easier and more convenient. Put it this way, given the events of the last week or so, you shouldn't expect any kind of consumer-friendly stuff. But here we all are, so I guess we've done something, right? Eh? Okay, so how we're going to do this is, because we don't know how Hansel, whatever he's called, is going to be added to the game, it could be a progressive, it could be a first place tournament only, it could be just a guaranteed even for ancient, sacred, whatever. But so we're going to just review Gretel as is, and what we're going to do for this one is, because most champions have pretty normalized skill ratios, base stats, etc., we're going to assign some to her and we'll put them up here, and this is what we'll refer to for all of this, because the only time I've ever done this was for Scurried Halfspawn, and it turns out that they just grouped his A2 for fun, and then no one used him, so yeah. And besides, after what's happened last week, they've kind of given up on making Hydra champions now because most people are massively demotivated to actually try and improve their Hydra teams anymore. I mean, why bother when they're just going to cut your damage output by 60%? Like, you got better things to do with your life. Even when it comes to playing this game. So, starting with the A1, Evil Undone, and remember, we're forgetting that Hansel exists here, in case you don't have him, and next time around we'll actually review them as a pair, but that's another conversation, so we're just going as a standalone for now. So, the first issue here is that this decreased defense checks accuracy, so you would need to build that on her to some extent to land this, and even then you get polymorphed, so what's the point? Placing an extra hit against targets under buffs is very nice because assuming the damage ratio for this isn't completely grooved for no reason, then this is actually a very good hitting A1. I wouldn't say it's better than Candrafont in that regard, who is also a Red Affinity attack legendary, because Candrafont has self-defense, and you're going to notice quite quickly that this champion does not have self-defense, and that's one of her first weaknesses. So the A2 is a single target 4 hit, so you don't have to worry about UDK. Don't worry about Rotos. Even things like Star Sage passive, Fraser passive, things like that, you'll blow right through them. But this is just pointless text. Am I really supposed to be impressed by how you've put 10, then 15, then 20, then 25? Just make every hit shred 25% defense. Obviously, this is pretty good. Not an extra turn, 50% turn meter, which is fine. And combined with Lethal and Helm Smasher, or if you have it Merciless and Helm Smasher, you are shredding anywhere from 75 to 85% defense, which is very nice. But anyway, let's move on. Next is the A3, and this is the only AoE she's going to have if Hansel is not around. Now, again, this turn meter decrease checks accuracy if she doesn't have Hansel. And unless this is strange wording, but I think it is just how it is for White Queen and Korra, where normally the turn meter decrease on around 5 checks accuracy, unless Narcissus is around and revived, and then it doesn't. 20% turn meter is fine, but really, should we still be alive after this? I'd kind of hope not. Okay, potentially sure, you're cutting turn meter by 25, you get up to 80, you can go again, possibly do this, but it doesn't really quite work that way now, does it? And then going on to the passive, so fills champion by 50%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm reading this out. You can read this for yourself. Now, this can apply to anything. Mythicals changing form, anything where it's do thing, gain extra turn, any that sort of thing. But this is on a 3-turn cooldown, so you're not going to be able to counter extra turn spammers that much. It might help somewhat. And then the active skill again. So, where we're going to use this champion, I know it's going to be sort of thing like when it comes to, okay, you are literally describing a partner champion by herself when she uses someone else, but if we look at all the other good champions who were part of a, well, team, so Rotos, Siphi, Ankora, Narcissus, Taras, Marichka, they can all work standalone. Obviously, they're better together, but they can work by themselves if you don't have one, or if it's banned in live arena or something like that. And her, I don't see it. So as is, she has 4 weaknesses, and none of these are even covered by Hansel in the first place. First off, she doesn't self-buff. No increased speed, no increased accuracy, no increased attack or crit damage, anything like that. The stats that she has are the stats that she's working with. She's reliant on someone else to supply things for her, which sure you can have, but what if you don't? What then? The next issue, as I said before, is no self-defense. If she gets hit by something, she's on the floor. That's it. She can't cleanse herself, heal herself, require more than 1 hit to go down, that sort of thing. So really, your only ways of defending her are Stone Skin Reaction or teammates, which, again, the good champions we have are the ones who defend themselves in some way, shape or form. I'm aware that I've been dealing with this quite a lot. This happens when you have a nose the size of the amount of people who said they were going to quit because of the Hydra changes and then kept playing anyway, so it is what it is. So yeah, she has no scaling, so to speak. None of her skills get stronger as the fight goes on, neither do her stats. The damage that she's doing at the start is the damage that she's going to be doing overall. And when we're going off the ratios that she has, this isn't usually enough to end a game against a more durable team. Now, speaking of ending a game, one way to do so is by killing stuff. It stays down. Does she have permadeath? Block revive? No, she doesn't, which is another issue that we have. And the last is, if she's locked out, she is not the best. She doesn't really have anything against that. Sure, she can get 50% turn meter or if Hansel's around, but that's kind of all it is. Is that 5 weaknesses? I feel like that one's not as big of a deal when her A1 can end up... See, it's happening again now. It's just, this is actually ridiculous. I should do what those Eastern plastic surgeries do and just have bits lopped off myself. It'd be much easier for me at this point now, wouldn't it? Actually, I don't have money for that. So, yeah. So, in terms of... Now we've factored in all that, where do we use her? She doesn't have any sort of boss killing effects, unless there is some max HP damage here somewhere, which we haven't specified, but I doubt that's the case. She's not good for, you know, Hydra, I'm going to say it quietly in case it bothers people. Because, again, she doesn't have max HP damage. She doesn't replace any debuffs apart from decreased defense, which is just, I mean, it can be AoE, but... Hang on, they reduced this if it's an AoE. Oh, come on, it wouldn't have been broken even as 100%. What's wrong with these people? So there's that, and Live Arena, I wouldn't pick her because she's got too many weaknesses and doesn't have a great matchup spread. Like, sure, she's a Rotos killer, but what isn't nowadays? He's not quite the safe pick that he was, and obviously for Plat Arena, she is not going to work there. You know that as well as I do. So, she's a Curse City champion. Good in Curse City if you don't have anything else. Or if you're just farming Classic Arena, Tag Arena, or something like that. So, yeah. Am I going to go for her? Probably not. Am I going to go for Hansel? Probably not. If someone put both of them on the table in front of me, fully booked master, etc., would I play with them? Of course, it's content. Would I go out my way for it? Probably not. So that's part 1 of the Halloween Legendary Champion, or might be Mythical Champion, depending on what which effort is supposed to be. That was in the teaser images. But yeah, we've got on long enough, and... Maybe I'm seeing something wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, if not, otherwise, yeah, that's us done for the time being, so, yeah, see ya.